Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just got out the gym, man. It was a beautiful day to work out, even though, it had a little bit of drizzle and it was a little bit cold outside. But you know what? I started my workout outside and it was great. So many people were watching me through the window that there is at the gym, wondering, what is this guy doing? I just could imagine what their thoughts were. Like, this guy is crazy, out of his mind, working outside while it's this cold. Isn't his joints hurting? Whatever it be. I know that there was a lot of conversation, because when I came back inside to finish my routine, I got a lot of fist bumps, a lot of you go man, and a lot of questions on if working out in the cold has any benefit to you at all. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Not working out in the cold, but adaptation, right? Because this is a life-changing video. This is a video for motivation for change in any part of your life. Any part of your life, okay? So I feel that would be good if you watch the whole entire video, because you might get something out of it. You might get the suggestion that you've been looking for. You might get the encouragement, the support, because that's what I'm about. I'm about supporting you in your change. That's it. Let me take these earplugs off so that way I know the actual tone that I'm giving you guys, and make sure that it's not so aggressive. But at the same time, that's my personality. Not aggressive, but I'm hyper. I love the fact that I could just show my true self. So, adaptation, ladies and gentlemen, adaptation, what does that mean? Well, a chameleon comes into mind, right? A chameleon comes into mind because it adapts to its environment. It camouflages. It gives the ability to see the environment that it is. And actually, it changes color through its environment too as well, through the season. And it does this in so many ways. It does this in the defense, and it does it in the offense. And that is so beautiful to me. I think that's a beautiful symbolic way that we should be in our life, right? Because I think that so many times that we are either A, completely offensive, or B, completely defensive. See, we got to be 50-50. We got to be on our offense and we got to be on our defense. We just got to be able to know when to do so and what to do at that time. So life change, right? Anybody in their addiction? Who is in their addiction right now that's watching this? Don't be afraid, don't be scared, don't be embarrassed, because one of the ways you can change your life is to be open about what your struggle is. If you try to hide behind a mask, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to be able to change the struggle. You're always going to be on a defense. Right? So be open with it. Besides, most likely some of you are just watching this by yourself. Right? So how many of you are in your addiction? I'm an open book. I am an addict. I'm in my recovery. My goal is sobriety. Every single day. Whether it's days, months, years. My objective is to be sober. My objective is to have my family in my life. My objective is to keep a 9-to-5 job. My objective is to continue running my business. My objective is to continue being the person that I am in society, and no matter what. Now, how do I do that? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't go to meetings. I don't go to meetings. I started going to meetings. But what I did was I replaced meetings with church. I started doing a lot of church, okay? The reason being is because, first off, in Virginia, there's not that many meetings that is in the general area that I'm in, okay? Now, I do find a meeting every now and then virtual, but I replace majority of my time with sermons, church, biblical and spiritual principles. That's what I do. Do I suggest that for you? No and yes, okay? Because I don't know if that's gonna work for you or not. Whatever works for you, and that's what I want to bring into yours. Adaptation means it's a personal experience. So many people try to go for what other people are doing in their life. ladies and gentlemen, what I'm doing with my life may not work for you. Now, it might be a good suggestion to try. It might be something new. It might be something new that you have never heard or never tried before, so you tried it and it works for you. However, the reason why I want to say that it is a personal experience and whatever you get out of it personally is because that's the truth in the matter. I see so many motivational videos, and I'm not clashing down on any motivational video because I watch motivational videos when I first start my day. I bring in scripture and then I watch a motivational speech. Okay, so trust me, those are good for motivation. Definitely, you need encouragement, you need support. However, don't be solely dependent on those motivational speeches. You got to figure out what you have to be dependent on in regards to your recovery, your sobriety. Now, relationship issues. Let's talk about relationships for a minute. How many of us are in a relationship issue? And I ain't talking about just a significant other. I'm talking about any relationship in your life. You got that friend that's just negative. You don't spend time with your kids. You don't have your kids in your life. Whatever it is, you are with a spouse that physically, emotionally abuses you. You are in a relationship that's filled with nothing but negativity. Or I don't even say nothing but negativity, but majority of negativity. And it is stalling your progress for growth. My mom always said anak, which means son in Tagalog, or child. Your stronghold, your breakthrough was when you started inviting your kids back into your life. When you changed your location. Which was very much so true. The word of the wise. The wise was my mom and my dad and my sister and the other people that are in my life that are positive influences that have given me the suggestions all of my walk through all through the fire that I walked through. They gave me the suggestion, and what do you know? When I started actually following those suggestions, I started getting the breakthrough that I was looking for. So let's talk about relationships for a minute. How many of us are in a relationship issue right now as I speak? Man, how do we adapt to that? Well, let's look at the chameleon, right? Change of season. First it's warm and then it's cold. Well, it changes its location, right? It goes from one spot to another. It goes to one color to another. That's what it means. Now, when I say location, I don't necessarily mean a certain place. What I mean is it changes something about itself in order to adapt to the environment that it is going against. If you are in a broken relationship right now, you have to find the change in something. Okay, start off with a positive change, whatever it is. Start off with a conversation. Maybe some of you haven't even had that conversation yet. Some of you haven't had that conversation with your significant other, telling them what you want. Honestly, brutally, tell them what you want. Stop doing what you're doing. How many of you guys have said that? Now, if you have, okay, move on to the next adaptation. Move on to the next change in your life. Let them know in those conversations, if you do not stop changing, I'm going to leave you. There you go. See, we are the best advice givers, but sometimes we can't take our own advice, ladies and gentlemen. You just give your own advice. You give your own solution in what you suggested in the first place, but you don't follow it. If you don't stop, I'm going to leave you. Where's the solution in that, ladies and gentlemen? The leaving part, there you go. The change is to leave the person. Let them know, let them see, let them experience the feeling of being without you. Let them experience the feeling of you ain't gonna take this no more. Let them feel the experience of that you are more valuable than the price that they have put on you. Now, how do you increase the relationship? How do you adapt to the relationship with your kids? Look at that. Have you had that conversation yet? You know, when I was in my addiction, it was very hard for me to talk to my kids. Very hard. One of the biggest reasons was because I didn't want them to see their father in the mess that they were in. And the messed up part about it is because I was in my mess for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I was a mess for a very, very long time. Like I said, we give the best advice, but we don't follow it. And like I'm giving you the advice, suggestion to get your kids back in your life by just having that conversation. At that moment in time, I wasn't able to do that. And so that's what I'm working on now. You know, I got my daughter moving in with me. I got my baby Naomi still back in my life. You know, my son, he's in jail right now. And the things I think of, what if I was in his life those whole times, the whole 14 years of his life, if I was the father figure that I should have been. But I can't have those conversations in my head. I gotta tell myself, well, you can be a father figure now, David. I got another son, Devin. You know, I love him. He's like a 10-year-old in a teenage body, 17. He had a cerebral seizure when he was young, and you know, and he can't speak to you. He uses a computer. So many things I got to adapt to in my life. But how do I do that? There's a lot of struggles, ladies and gentlemen, in your life, and I know that it's hard. There's a lot of emotional baggage that comes with it. A lot of emotional baggage that comes with it. So first you got to be honest with yourself. First you got to be honest with the situation that's in hand. First you got to be honest with your solution. You got to understand that if you truly don't want to change, it doesn't matter how much you say you're going to change, you're not going to change. How do you adapt? Think about how you are going to adapt in your situation. How you're going to be a chameleon in your situation. How are you going to be defensive on the things that are going to try to harm you? And how are you going to be on offensive with the things that you got to overcome? Every day of your life, you got to understand something. Reality is going to hit. As soon as you wake up, reality is going to hit. Prepare yourself for that day. You might not know all the issues that are going to go. You might not know if there's going to be traffic when you go to work. You might not know if your boss is going to be on his period. You ain't going to know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things that you might not know. However, there are going to be things that you do know. And that's what you are going to experience personally within your own self. You know if you're going to have, you know if you have depression. You know if you have anxiety. You know if you have hate, resentment. You know if you have regret. You know if you have loneliness. A lot of people try to face the world, trying to go against the world. You will lose because the world has multiple catalysts in regards to endurance. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy, a lot of stamina, and you can't provide enough stamina to go against what the world has to give you. But what you do have is the knowledge of knowing what you're going to be going through inside personally, and that's what you have to fight. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself what your struggles are. And start assessing and analyzing. Then, when you find out what your struggles are and you're honest about it, and you're honest about your change that you really, really wanted, you become a student of your change, ladies and gentlemen. You become a chameleon of your change. You adapt to whatever principles that you need to adapt to in regards to changing your life for the positivity that you deserve. You're more valuable. You're your prized possession. I love you guys. God bless.